Hey y'all, it's Chris here. So I got my new R1T L cap with the 20-inch darks, and I am happy. It looks great. Very, very happy with my choice. I went back and forth forever between limestone and L cap, but man, this looks good. The only thing is I've got these silver crossbars. Now my friend gave these to me. He upgraded to the black ones, and thank you for that. Shout out to him. Very kind of him, but I think I'm gonna have to go dark out package with this. It wasn't offered. This is a 22. I got it as a demo, so it wasn't a thing yet. So I'm gonna have to do it myself. But I figure it's a good opportunity to learn about vinyl wrap. So I'm gonna start with these crossbars and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got the crossbar on my workbench here. Let's clean it. So now we need to break it down. We've only got one exposed screw here. It's one of these bits. It's like there's a hole in it, but it's an Allen key with a hole in it because there's a little raised section in the middle there at the bottom. Regular one won't work. Just keep that in mind. You just got to give it a little hit. There we go. I'm not going to bother breaking this down. The reason I'm doing that is I've already done one of these and I broke this plastic piece getting it out. There's no exposed screws, but basically there's a clip in here that breaks when you yank this out. We're going to skip all that because I realized you don't need to do that. There's a bit of a witness mark right here, meaning there's about an inch that will not show when you've got these at full spread. And I've got them on the back of my truck, which is as wide as these will go. So if you just go a little bit past it, you're never going to show any aluminum. These slots right here, it won't go past that, so we're just going to go right up to that with the vinyl. You don't really need to get anything fancy to do this job. The main thing you need a knife, need some cutting tape. This is 3M knifeless tape, it's called. Knife I've been opening boxes with this for years. I just broke off to a fresh blade, made sure it was clean. And then of course you need your vinyl. I got this on Amazon, R vinyl. It's made by 3M and it's matte black. And we're to go all the way up to the edge on the side that's still installed as good as you can. This will stick pretty good. After we're done, we're gonna make sure we go over it with heat. That'll activate the adhesive and make sure it doesn't come off. A little tension as you roll over this edge. I want it to go on as smooth as possible. You don't want to yank on it too hard, but you'll get a feel for it. It's a little difficult with the piece moving on you. If you want to stick it in a vise or something, that would make it easier. A few bumpy spots over here on this edge, right here. I'll work those out with the heat gun. And you can use a hair dryer. You don't have to have a heat gun. And it's pretty easy to work with. This smoothed up beautifully. There's not a wrinkle left in it. So I'm going to speed through this part. I don't really like the way it turned out. I wouldn't recommend coming over to the top like this. It's just way too hard to get the vinyl down into that corner, and just using my thumb too wasn't ideal. So I ended up with a lot of wrinkles, and I even got some tears. I kept trying to work it with the heat gun, but I was just stretching the material too much. You'll see in the next part there's a better way to do it. I did end up leaving it like this. There's a few imperfections, but I got it on the truck and I don't really notice it, so it's not really worth redoing. So I went and I found this, I got this in, I think it was a screen protector. It's just a piece of plastic with kind of maybe some smooth, non-catchy material. It's a nice wedge shape. So it's a smaller version of kind of what the pros use for this, and I can already feel, man, that's way better. All right, so I'm going to lift this back up. I'll not to go too far and undo the work you did. Just want to go to the middle here. Okay, so I'm holding straight up, taking this, I'm starting in the middle, and I'm just going to work it in until you hit that wall. This appears to be the way to do it, folks. Okay, so the thing I just realized is we couldn't do this on this side since it was already wrapped around the edge. So On this piece, with this shape, the easiest way is probably to start in the middle, meaning just get your whole piece of vinyl and just kind of tack it down in the middle and work each side like I'm doing. I think that's going to be the best. Okay, yeah, this is a million times better than before, so that's the way to do it. We do have a few wrinkles here, so let's get those. 0 wrinkles. That looks great. Very happy with that. Compared to the other side, you can see it. You can see the marks, but again, it's good enough. I made a small mistake here. I need to lift up this original piece. We need to put our cutting tape underneath so we can get a good seam here. Put my tape down. Make sure your tape goes past your vinyl. Make sure you cut plenty of excess tape here because you're going to need to, we'll see in a second, but I'd say at least 4 inches. Make sure you push it down hard. We're going to put our vinyl back over the cut tape. Once you got the tape down and the vinyl over it, you want to heat it up and then press it down. You want it tight against it. Just make sure you got a good outline. You can see the whole profile of the tape. See how you can see the shape of the tape? We need to overlap past the cut line. Both pieces need to be past the cut line in their respective directions. To cut this with this tape, you want to lift the edge from the excess portion here. Put your finger down and get a sharp bite on it with your fingernail here. You'll see it. You yank it. Yep. All right. So you're holding that tape and you pull the string out. So pull up to your vinyl. You want to hold down on the vinyl and then you pull. And it'll cut right through it. We want to pull the top piece, which is this. When we pull this side, it splits this tape into 2. Maybe we want to pull this off first, actually. Let's do that. It should come right off. Yep. Now this is going to be underneath a little bit, so just pull gently towards you, away from the vinyl. Add a little bit of heat. You're kind of just tucking it right up the edge. Now we're going to pull this off. This is going to lift the vinyl up, and I think you want to kind of grab this corner. What you're going to do is you're going to remove the piece underneath this. So that's why you don't want a big piece on the underside. Don't worry about, you're going to stretch this top piece out a little bit. See, a nice thin piece so you don't have to do this to too much of it. And we're going to give it some heat just to make sure it goes back to its original shape. But when it's free like this and you heat it, it'll just shrink back to its memory. And then you're just going to kind of push it up. Looks like it's a little short. This didn't come out perfect, but I think what happened is I had originally stretched that piece a little bit. So you want to make sure the top piece, you've just got it, when it's in position over that cut tape, I think you want to make sure it's laid down without being stretched too much. You want to just come over this seam line a little bit. You always want to go a little bit past and trim later. Stretch it tight, get it down. Hold that in place, stretch that tight. Get it down. The top portion's pretty easy. It's already where it needs to be. What I found is you need to heat and pull at the same time. Just applying heat and then just gently lifting up and gently stretching until I get it to lay down flat, and it is clean all around. So here, to help the cuts go better, just get a little heat and push down on all the seams. All right, that edge is done. So this is about as easy as it gets. Just roll it over this edge. Fun part, we peel. And we've got everything done. So all that's left is to put it together. But before I do that, I just want to kind of give you some lessons learned. First of all, you're only going to remove this one screw right here. That's it. That's all you got to do. Leave this together. There's no reason to go further. Remove that one screw, wrap this. You're just going to pull this out as far as you can go. You'll see if you've got some dirty crossbars, you know, if you leave a ½ inch, and you won't see it. I've already put these on the truck and they look great. So on this piece right here, the easiest way to do it, and you want to start in the middle here. So you're going to press it down in the middle. You're going to have it even on both sides as far as length. And then you're going to work it into this inner diameter like I showed you earlier in the video. And then flip it around, do the other side. And once you get those down, it should be smooth sailing. Then you're just wrapping outside edges. Then you've got your cut line here. I showed you how to do that. When you pull the top piece over, you want to make sure it's relaxed. Don't pull it too tight because this is going to shrink back down. So you want it to just lay flush and butt up against it. I did notice some imperfections outside in the daylight, but you know, that's when I'm looking for it. You know, you got a shiny aluminum underneath. So if you're a perfectionist, it may bug you. It really doesn't bug me. Just being on the truck, they look great. Just get a better knife and go slow. My knife had dulled. I think if I started with a better blade and took my time, and then make sure you're favoring with pressure the outside edge away from the vinyl, and just play with it. Do a test piece, cut it. If you don't like it, redo it. You'll get good quick. And that's really about it. It was not that big of a deal. It probably took me, I don't know, an hour and a half to do the first one because I was struggling, and then maybe 40 minutes to do the second one. And if I had to do these again, it'd be even faster. So put them together, just line up that hole, screw it back in. That's all there is to it. Slide just like normal. You know, these weren't super slippery to begin with, but all right, let's see what they look like on the truck. So here we are with the finished product on the truck. I think it's a huge improvement over the aluminum. Not that the aluminum was bad, but this just fits the whole color scheme better. All right, well, I hope this helped. Remember, just have fun out there.